But no, seriously, guys, welcome back. This is the duo. I'm Shanika Roche.
I'm Destiny Lee.
And this is DNT Podcast. And the crowd goes wild.
Wild. What's up?
Howdy.
Howdy.
It's good to be back.
It really does.
Seriously.
Man. Feel like.
It's been a while.
Yeah, but it really
Right.
ain't.
I feel like last week dragged a little bit.
It did.
But it didn't came and it didn't went. So
And boy,
here we are now.
time.
Right.
Well, highlight of the week. You know what was it?
Well, I can guess I'm gonna shed light on 2 highlights. So, of course, the first highlight is our event. Y'all know we had been talking about it in the previous episodes. We finally hosted our 1-year podcast anniversary event, and it was very, very, very good. Such a good turnout. So I was excited about that. I really enjoyed dressing up. We were so cute.
We looked so good.
I might insert pictures at the end if I can remember by the time we start editing to just insert a picture of at least what we look like for the event, because not everybody that watch on YouTube probably follow us on social media. So yeah, but if y'all really want to be getting all the details on other stuff outside of DNT, then maybe y'all should start following us.
Follow us on Instagram.
So yeah. But so yes, of course, our event and started my new job.
Woo, 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 woo.
And I'm gonna let y'all know, I'm not even gonna lie, I was so hesitant, like, about the new job, like, and I just know it was just like, just having to get back in like a routine of like working and everything, and I'm just so anxious, like wondering if the people gonna be straight, if I'm gonna like the job, like if everything just gonna coincide, and I just been trying to pray on it, and I just meditate on it, but just pray on it, and then, you know, leave it alone or whatever. But this was my first official week at the clinic. I had training all last week somewhere else, so we on day 2, and it's been going pretty good so far. They say I'm doing very good, so
Of course.
just shout out to the big guy for that. So those are my highlights.
I have to say mine was the party. I'm trying to think if anything else just happened. But yeah, the party was it.
Yeah.
I feel like out of all the events that we've hosted, that was probably like the least stressful.
You think so?
Like being there, because like far as like everybody getting there, now leading up to it was a little, but we ain't had to deal with no rain, no.
I think that's the only thing, but I think honestly, it's still, well, me personally, it still was a lot. Like, it be one of those, like, I'd be so glad once we there and we get into it, but afterwards, I'd be glad it'd be over, for real. Like,
I ain't gonna lie, at one point somebody was like, stop working. I'm like, I can't.
Right, like.
I mean, it's a 2-woman show.
So.
Like, I can't stop working, but it was, I don't know, I feel like it was a little, I had to deal with climate.
Yeah.
So I felt like it was a little better, but. Sure. Like, I was still almost an hour late, so.
Yeah.
Sorry. Nothing else really happened, I think. Yeah, because the other thing I ain't going to speak on yet till it comes.
Okay.
Together.
Well, moving right along, you guys. Still don't know what this segment is going to be called. I tried to think of some names earlier today, but nothing has really just stuck with me yet. So, this ain't really just going to be nothing just informative. It's just something I just want to speak on. I just want to give a little... Yes, like, I just want to say, like, overall, I just don't want us to be, like so quick to judge people. I just want us to really... just respect people for who they are. If you gon' fool with them. If you not... You know what I'm saying? Just love them from a distance or whatever. Because there was something that happened today where I had got a call. I had got a call from someone basically, and we probably wasn't even like 2 minutes into the call, and the person was like, Nika, and I'm like, what's up? They was like, why you ain't tell me such and such was why you ain't tell me such and such was gay? Or they're like, why you didn't tell me such and such had a girlfriend? I'm like, I ain't gonna lie, I ain't know that's something you just announced. Like, I mean, because it really wasn't my business. Like, it's not my place to say.
Right.
And I'm like, well, and I said, it's just something I feel like it's just really just normalized. So it's like, it's not a shock to me. In my generation, it's not. But I get why it's a shock to you because you're older.
Yeah.
So basically, the person was just like, I just can't believe it. Like, I'm gonna have to call such and such to check on them because I just can't believe she doing that. Especially knowing that she done had kids, woo. Like, that's not no good image. And I'm like, well, how do you know? I said, how do you know the person that they're with? Like, that person doesn't really just genuinely not just love her, but loves her kids as well. Right. I said, I get where you're coming from, being that if she got a son, like, how that probably will affect her son in the future. I said, but that's not your place to say. And I said, I'm not gonna lie, I'm not somebody that judges. So I said, I don't really care. Yeah. I said, I still like that person. Like, I don't have nothing against that person. Right. I mean, that ain't harming me. Right. You know, like, that's their life. And if, girl, like, that just, eventually it got to where the person just felt my energy. And I was like, well, if you want to talk about what you really called to talk about, like, we can do that. But I'm not going to dwell on such and such situation because that's not my place to say. Yeah. So I'm just saying that to tell y'all, like, really just stop being so quick to judge people, like, because I just feel like that seed could have been, if I was somebody that was just gullible, like, vulnerable enough to just fall for that, and you know what I'm saying? Like, now that it had me thinking about that person twice, but I'm not nobody to judge. Like, I'm God. God is the only person that can judge all of us. Because, girl, that was really trying to give me a life lesson about this person. I'm like, well, at the
what does that have to do with me or you?
I said, you're not going to convince me that I don't like that person.
I should like them because of who they choose to be.
Because of their preference or their what they're interested in. Right. Because now I'm having the notion that I'm glad I know not to come to you whenever I have an idea or whenever I feel this type of way about something because I already know where your mindset is. So I was glad God even exposed it to me. Yeah. Like, but that's another reason to say, like, be careful who you tell your business to. Or be just careful or just be more coherent on how, like, when other people telling you other people's business, how they sound, how they tone is, what they really saying about that person. Because I'm like, dang, if you dogging such and such like that, ain't no telling what you would have said about me or what you will say about me. So be careful, y'all.
And how you interacting with that person? You probably just talking to them like.
And don't be so quick to don't even just let people plant those bad seeds on you about other people in their perspective. So I just want to say that because, child, it just really threw me. I ain't gonna say it threw me for a loop, but girl, it really had me like,
who are you?
Who are you to even judge or even just have that much of a mouthpiece to talk about that person?
I thank God that I done came a long way from that because I used to be one to judge not far as like who they sexuality, but just everything. I just felt like, why you doing that? Why you doing that? Or why you doing that? But I thank God for growth because I'm like, you just sit back and be like, people probably looking at you the same way. Like, why you doing that? What you doing?
Why you chose who you chose? Why you married who you married? And such and such. And it's like, if that's what you like, I can either respect it, support it, or if not, I can just go about my way. And it's that simple. But we're not going to sit here and keep talking on it and dwelling on it because it's not my decision. Like, I'm not God. Like, I don't.
Why would somebody else's business make you lose sleep at night? But that goes to show that, like, people will take their beliefs of a person or take their opinions of a person and try and make you do
Put it on you.
Make you believe this way, and you don't even know why you don't like the person just because somebody told you.
Because they done planted that seed is what I'm saying.
Now it's in the back of your mind.
Yep. So, y'all be cautious of those type of people, and don't be so quick to judge people either.
Well, honey, now we on the whole topic of that shenanigans.
Right. Yeah, I'm gonna let you introduce because you.
So. Yeah. A while ago, and I'm going to add both of these. I'm going to add both of these together, but a while ago, I just came across some videos or whatever. So today, we're going to talk about intrusive thoughts versus intuition first, or we can do whichever. And then vulnerability versus transparency. Yeah. And I chose intrusive thoughts versus intuition because you hear a lot, on TikTok for one, everybody like, I let my intrusive thoughts win. And I think a lot of times that they are unsure of the actual definition of an intrusive thought.
Yeah.
Like, one girl TikTok was like, sometimes I don't want to get out the bed. That's an intrusive thought. I'm like, no, that's just a thought you had that you don't want to get out the bed.
Yeah.
Intrusive, but we gonna get into it. But
Okay.
but it's just one of them. Like, a lot of people, I feel like they just been using it so loosely, like,
yes.
and everybody just hopping on the trend and unaware of what it actually means.
Yeah.
And then vulnerability versus transparency, like, we have to learn the difference and deal with people differently when it comes to that. So, do you have anything?
No, not yet.
Okay, so I feel like this gonna be a little educational for us and y'all. Just trying to shed a little light on that too.
Yeah, because I'm here to see what you. Yeah,
girl, because I went down a little rabbit hole. So first, I'm just start out by saying the definitions of what intrusive thoughts are and intuition. So intrusive thoughts are ideas and images that come to mind uninvited or unwanted. Most of the time, they are negative and negative. They're not good thoughts.
Right.
And then intuition is the ability to understand something immediately without the need for conscious reasoning or likely from instinctive reasoning rather than conscious reasoning. So, intrusive thoughts are triggered by stress or anxiety. Why people do stuff negatively, because most of the time when you're stressed or you're dealing with anxiety, you're probably not in a good headspace. Hormone shifts can also can cause intrusive thoughts. Intuitive thoughts are rational, so your intuition, most of the time, they're reasonable. Like, if you feel something, like you walk in the room and you just ain't liking the vibe, that's your intuition. Like, leave. Don't like it, go, because irrational thoughts.
With the intuition, what I had under there, or like the best way to explain it is like, it's basically like a pickup of frequency before it becomes like a feeling. Like, it's a frequency, and then it becomes like a thinking situation, if that makes sense. So you, like you say, you walk in the room, and if you feel that frequency is off, then now your mind is become conscious of that, and now you're like, okay, something is off, or something is about to happen.
Yeah.
So I just want to add that under the intuition part. And for intrusive thoughts, I had wanted to say that they could be thoughts, ideas, or urges. So on the aspect of intrusive thoughts, when I was looking up certain stuff, I put some of the examples that I want to use. I know you probably got some as well, but
go ahead.
Especially when you said like what can like trigger them, like, so sometimes they don't always necessarily be what's the best way I want to explain it? You might not always be in a bad headspace when you have intrusive thoughts, because when I started going down it, and a lot of the examples that I was getting that people was explaining, I'm like, well, I done had some of them thoughts, and I was just having like, just going on about my day or whatever.
And that's why they said uninvited and unwanted.
Yeah.
It's like out of nowhere.
It's that stuff you just wouldn't even act upon.
It's
basically
intruding. Yeah. Intrusive, intruding, they just come.
And so, like, some of the examples I put is like sleeping with someone you shouldn't be sleeping with, in the parentheses I put family members, because they basically say like, it's when you have thoughts of like something like you have like no want or desire of doing.
Right. Yeah.
Another one can be though like suicidal incidents. So for example, like walking in the ongoing traffic, like you might just be waiting at the, you might just be stopping at the waiting at the walk cross, but you just had that thought like, what if I would just walk across? Like knowing you're not necessarily gonna walk across, but it's just that thought that popped up or whatever. Or like like you say, a car crash, or like jumping off a building.
Right.
And then I put also disturbing images of like violence or anything involving like
just injuring
injuring loved ones.
Like, where did that come from?
Because I'm not gonna lie, like when I be always having like, when I'm at the store, like when I grab something, if I just drop it, just to see like what's the reaction of like the people around me, or like if I just walk in the store and get something and I did it at checkout, like if I just walk out and I scan this stuff, like I know I can pay for it, but it's like something just tell you like just walk out,
right?
Just go. You know, and it's like, you know that ain't right. You know that's not.
She just
you know that
ain't
you. Like, you know that ain't your character, but it's just like, just walk out.
Yeah.
Or it's just something like that.
Just weird, uninvited.
And I'm gonna say this, then I'll let you piggyback off of it. But I said we make it worse when we try to like force these thoughts to not happen as much. Cause a lady, some doctor, like she kind of broke down like that is what causes like stress and anxiety to come in, because you're now forcing your brain to not have these. So now that's all you're always focused on. So you're going to have them more frequently now because you're trying so hard to get rid of them versus just becoming aware that you had that thought and then just going about your day.
Yeah. So. What I was going to say, so just a little side note, like, let's not play about that now.
Yeah.
Like, now that we know what intrusive thoughts are, they not nothing to just be like, oh, I let them win.
Yeah. Like, because also let's go back to the fact that words hold power. Like the tongue is a powerful thing, and like words hold weight. So if you going around saying like, girl, I always let my intrusive thoughts win, it's like, okay,
it's not good.
What if one day your intrusive thoughts really start to become like intrusive actions?
Right.
So then it's like, okay, now what? Like you say, like,
and you, or you get accustomed to
or you around somebody and you just like slap them, or you get a knife and you like stab yourself. Like, what if one day you actually just do it and don't even consciously know that you done it, but because you done let your intrusive thoughts win,
right?
Now you bleeding to death. Or now you got a black eye, or now you done hit somebody, or you know anything. Now you done injured yourself. So,
baby. I guess I think the rest of mine is intuition, intuitive thoughts. Oh, it's kind of well. Intuitive thoughts open your mind. Invasive thoughts close your heart and make you feel stuck. So, intuition just open your mind to something like, okay, bet. And invasive thoughts or intrusive thoughts just close your heart and make you feel stuck. They don't make you feel good.
Yeah.
Period. And then I just put the way TikTok depicts intrusive thoughts, because I already spoke on that, but it's not okay.
Yeah. Long story short, so
it's okay to have an intuition.
Be choosy of your words, please.
Man, like, it's definitely okay to be intuitive. Like, it's okay to have intrusive thoughts, but don't let them win. Be aware and accept it and move on.
Yeah.
You have anything else
on intuition or just intrusive?
Either or.
Under intuition, I just put, like that good feeling of knowing when something is right or wrong. And I also put on here how like women's intuition is always stronger than men's. And this interview I had was watching of this girl. She was talking about how like there was a study done on the brain or whatever that showed like how the cerebral something in the brain is a lot thicker than compared to males, and like that is what causes like women's thinking process to like generate faster than males. And like I told you also about like picking up on those frequencies.
Right.
So like I know that they say your intuition is like that good feeling, but also for women it's like your womb picks up a lot of your womb takes on a lot of energy too, whether it be emotional like stress and all of that, also like mental and like physical things, all of that stuff like contributes to the womb. And like I just put on there like the cleaner you are, like inside and out, like the clearer you can think.
Right.
So if you're all like always emotional, all over the place, hormones everywhere, like the number one thing I'm always tell people is like pay attention to what you eat, because that is one of the main factors, like the main thing that contributes to a lot of what goes on with us. And that can throw your whole, if you're a spiritual person, like that throws everything off, like your whole spiritual, your whole aura will be thrown off just because of how your diet is for real. So if you can just focus on like being more clean with like how you take care of your body and how your gut is, because your gut is automatic. There's something they say like some nerve or whatever in the gut that is automatically like travels up and is connected to the brain. So
Right.
if you can keep that clean, like, and keep that connection as clean as possible,
Right.
then that will help you like strengthen that intuition though, so that you'll be able to differentiate certain things and not even just double back on it as far as like second guessing it and everything. So that was all I had.
That's what I was gonna say. Like we was just talking about the gut, like anxiety, like caffeine can give you anxiety.
Yeah.
Like, and I was just talking to my sister about it. That's why I brought it up. Like, it doesn't surprise me because we lack sleep and then we just pour caffeine to our body and expect our body to stay up, and then we still lack sleep and we not.
And you ain't doing no manipulating your body or whatever to have such a high, and that's why even after you drink caffeine, like you drop like that and you right back tired because all you did was manipulate your body into thinking,
right,
I'm so good, but then once that wears off, you back feeling worse than you were before you drank the coffee.
And we was just looking up like holistic healing for like anxiety and stuff, and like every video I watched or everything I researched was your caffeine intake. Like, just stop caffeine and see if it's any difference.
Yeah.
Like, it's gonna be totally different. I was like, dang, all the people I know that got anxiety, they drink coffee in the morning or they drink Dr. Pepper all day every day. And I'm like, that probably contributed. Granted, some people just may struggle. Like, I'm not taking that away, but yeah, but check that good.
Yeah.
Sure. Okay, moving along to vulnerability versus transparency. You want me to go?
I can pop it off.
Okay.
As far as transparency, I feel like it's pretty straightforward. If not, we can still go into it. I feel like a person that is transparent, I just put you like open and honest, and you tell like basically the ins and outs of it, meaning like you basically an open book when it comes to certain things, if asked, because that's the main key that I was doing when I was researching a lot of stuff. Like, that's the only thing that makes transparency and honesty. I feel like they go hand in hand. So I'm gonna say honesty a lot too. Like, being an honest person and being a vulnerable person is like, when you're honest and transparent, it's only off of reaction, if that makes sense, versus vulnerability is based off in action. Like, you do it without even being asked. So you be honest and transparent whenever you're asked to be, but you be vulnerable whenever that person isn't even asking for it at all. So
I put not having anything to hide for transparency.
Yeah.
Like, you ain't got nothing to hide. They ask you, you're open book. Like,
yeah, tell it. Yeah.
Vulnerability, the quality or state of being exposed to the possibility of being attacked or harmed. Like, when you're vulnerable, I'm telling you something that you probably could go back and use against me.
It can either make or break from a relationship, friendship, any type of standpoint, any type of relation with another person. When vulnerability is involved, I feel like that can either make or break that friendship. It can make or break their relationship, because you opening up a whole new window,
right?
Not even of just like judgment, but like trust and everything with a person when you start to become like vulnerable, when you're in like their vulnerable state with somebody.
A video I watched, it said, he quoted, transparency is me telling you something I want you to know, and vulnerability is me telling you something that you can turn around and hurt me with. So being vulnerable or vulnerability is empowering someone to carry your problem with you. Like, I done told you all of this, and now I want you to carry it with me. Like, versus transparency, I'm just telling you so you know. Now you have the knowledge. But once you open that door of vulnerability, you have empowered them to use it in whatever. Like, they can either help you or they gonna use it to hurt you. They're gonna throw it back in your face later on, or they're gonna be like, okay, I can help you.
Yeah. It's look at it as more of like a give. Like, when you're vulnerable, you're giving them. It's taken away from you. It might seem like a negative way, but that's the only way I can like break it down. Like, when you're vulnerable, you give a piece of you away to somebody. But when you're just being honest and transparent, you're just giving a
knowledge.
perspective. Yeah, you're just giving a perspective on something. Like, you're not really just opening up to them about something. You just giving like an opinion, if that makes sense, kind of. Whenever
like,
you're honest and transparent.
That's like somebody, he said, how you doing today? I'm having a bad day. That's all you got to do.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, I hope your day get better. Now you say, how you doing today? Had a bad day, crashed my car, da-da-da-da. Now they know all this business that they need to, like, they just ask me how you doing.
Yeah.
We be giving too much information sometimes.
Be oversharing.
But when you're vulnerable, you're in a vulnerable state, you just don't know where you're supposed to go in life. You don't know, you just crashed your car. Like, you may be vulnerable. And whoever come and ready to listen, you gonna pour it out. And so yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
Because I have witnessed that at like work. Like, some girls would just be telling me their business, and I'd be like, okay. And had I, depending on who I am though, what type of person I am, I could be like, girl, you know, she got evicted, and now everybody know your business, and it wasn't even their business to know. But you just overshared and was just in a vulnerable state of mind, so you just didn't care who knew your business. Yeah. Something I put on here was men not wanting to open up to women. Like, maybe they need to just be transparent with a woman. Like, just let her in a little bit, but not being so vulnerable and letting her know every bits and pieces of, because you know how they be like, you can't open up a woman, she gonna use it against me. Like, as far as relationship, I feel like with everybody you date, maybe you don't have to be vulnerable. Like, let's see how long this lasts before I'm vulnerable with you.
But I've heard men say, like, they know, like, they'll know, like, after a certain while whether or not they really want to open up to a woman. And if they don't, it's just because they just not comfortable with you. But they'll continue to be, like, transparent and honest with you. Like, like I say, when you transparent, if you ask, but they might not ever feel just vulnerable enough to open up to you. But, I feel like, who was it I just watched when they was talking about that? When Daisy Banks was on Club Shay Shay, he talked about that. And when I watched, when DC Young Fly was on that one part 1 and 2 episode, when B Simone them had their little thing, and how they was all on there talking about, like, men being, like, vulnerable, like, not wanting to open up, like, towards women and, like, take their risk of, like, being vulnerable. But but for the most part, I'm not gonna lie, I feel like most men be very honest and transparent with women. Sure. I just think that we don't always trust our intuition or our gut feeling whenever those signals go off to us about these men, and we think that something is going to eventually change, but like the signs are there. We're just now being gullible and delusional into thinking, like, you know, something might change, but the signs were already there. Like, girl, if he ain't did it by now, he ain't gonna do it. If he ain't opened up by now, he's not going to. Yeah.
So maybe, so when, I guess that just put in perspective for me, like, when men say they don't want to open up, they just don't want to be vulnerable. They gonna let you know. They gonna be transparent when you ask.
They just might not be.
They just not gonna be vulnerable and just let you in them deep dark places, because even if that's sacred in a way, like,
and you can't blame them.
I don't, because vice versa, it might be women that feel like that. Like, I don't want no man using, like, my dark time to throw in my face, you know, like.
Facts.
So I understand that. I said, I said it's not that our generation is scared to be transparent, but maybe the fear of vulnerability, because we aren't sure how someone will react to it. Like, will they shame you, blame you, falsely accuse you. And I ain't gonna lie, I don't blame us. Right. You can't let everybody in. You just ain't everybody business. Like,
I think you could be I think you could be open and transparent, like honest and transparent with anybody. Like, like that's your truth. Like, speak your truth. Like, you know, give your truth. But to be vulnerable, like, I don't think you're ever supposed to just be vulnerable with just everybody. Like, mm-mm.
Yeah. Like, how you doing today? I'm not okay. I ain't gotta tell you nothing else. I'm just not okay.
But something I've heard though, and this every time I hear the word vulnerability now, I think about this because I be watching Tim Ross. Like,
yeah,
he said that one of his favorite quotes is vulnerability is his superpower, because he feels like if he just go ahead and let you know up front, like what it is, and tells you all of his, tells you everything, like whether you want to hear it or not, then he just rather go ahead and give you the option whether or not you want to continue this, you know what I'm saying, or just even be friends or be anything or whatever who it is, even if they haven't asked, because like that's just him. Because whether you throw it back in my face or not, it's my truth.
I didn't accepted my truth.
Yeah, so I accepted it, so I'm okay with you knowing this. I'm okay with you accepting this, and then it made me start thinking like, okay, well maybe that's why we probably do be so on edge about being vulnerable with any and everybody, because we haven't even accepted those things about ourselves yet. So maybe once we might be knowledgeable. You can be conscious of something,
right,
but still not be like comfortable with it,
right.
Because I feel like you can be conscious of knowing, like,
because it's gonna be triggering if you bring it back up.
Yeah, because especially if you ain't healed from it,
right.
Especially if you ain't dealt with it, if you ain't talked to nobody about it, if you haven't expressed that to nobody, because you're the only one that's conscious of that. Nobody else knows you feel like that but you.
Right.
So.
But sometimes people just pride me, like, dang, I told you that because I trusted you and I felt like you could know that.
Yeah.
Now,
I thought we established that level of trust.
Yeah, like even if I have accepted it, I'm still gonna feel some type of way.
Right.
Not everybody got that. So he right. His vulnerability, his superpower, because it might be some stuff like say us, like certain stuff we talk about. We're gonna tell somebody else like that just wasn't. That's just not for you to know.
Right. Cause like one of the examples he used, like with his wife, was like, if he go out somewhere and like say a woman tried to approach him and like she tried to talk to him, even though he denied her, he was vulnerable enough to still go home and tell his wife like, such and such tried to come on to me while I was in the grocery store, and I just want you to know that.
Yeah.
Because I have nothing to hide from you. Like, I just feel like you need to know.
Right.
She didn't even ask. Probably was never gonna know. Because that's something like he said too. It can be something like somebody will never know. Like, but unless you tell them, like,
right.
Yeah. So that was a good example. I liked it that he used, like, with his wife.
So I guess my question to you would be, you have to have you have to have both to have a good relationship. Transparency and vulnerability.
We're talking about
a relationship, spouse.
Oh, okay. With a spouse.
We have to be able to have both, right?
Vulnerability and transparency.
Yeah. Will it work one without the other?
I think it can, because now that you done said that, when I watched the episode with B. Simone, it was a man on there, David Shands. He was saying he's vulnerable. He's vulnerable, but he has a cap to his vulnerability. Like with his wife, like regardless of how long he's been married to her, like if it's certain things that he's not comfortable with sharing with her, like granted that's his wife and you would think that he should feel comfortable, but he said if he doesn't think that that level of trust ever just really gets there, then he doesn't feel the need to share those things with her. And he feel like but I guess to each his own, because he said he's expressed that to her, and she has accepted it and everything. Because you just never know what people going through, regardless of if you done been with a person so many years. You'll think that person should know the ins and outs with you, but some stuff we really don't want people to know. We'll just take it to our grave. Take
it with us.
So
some stuff just ain't.
To me, it just depends, because
I feel a lot of times it's like a protective thing too. Like, why bring it back up? Yeah. Even like I'm done with it. Like the past is past. I done left it. I'm done with it. Just know that I had a rough childhood. Yeah. And I was, like maybe that's somebody's story. Like I did have a rough childhood. I just don't choose to speak on it.
Yeah.
Respect it or don't. I just put
And
like having a balance of both in a relationship.
And if they, how can I say, or even just somewhat done the work and they acknowledge it and let you know like this is this and just don't do this, or I'm okay with going certain places because of this, or I'm not okay with going certain places because of that. I feel like if you establish that and don't really go in detail with it, then that's fine.
That's fine.
Yeah.
I'll let you know.
But to answer the question though, do you have to have both? I would say you think you would need to have both, but now I'm even thinking about for my own sake. It's some things with me I might not want my next person or my significant other to just really know. So I can't say. I know some people I know majority of people gonna say like, yeah, you can't have one without the other, but
I feel like I agree with the man. Like it's cap.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like it can be a cap to it.
Yeah.
For sure, I feel like in some capacity or as some type of, I think that's what I'm gonna use. You have to have both.
Yeah.
If they have a cap to transparency and honesty, I feel like you gotta have. But if you choose to cap the vulnerability, I will not blame you.
Yeah.
Some stuff. Yeah.
Y'all let us know what y'all think about whether or not that should go hand in hand or if you should have both. Because I feel like you can be honest with any and everybody, but you can't be vulnerable with any and everybody.
And anytime I have been,
yeah.
Sometimes it don't like with the
because
wrong
I
people,
feel like,
you know?
say for instance, like even because this was an example I used on there too. Like I might be more vulnerable with you
right.
than I am with like one of my parents,
right,
and vice versa. Like when it just comes to certain stuff like that. So I think it varies by the relationship too.
For sure.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Because some stuff is just gonna take to your grave. Even if you choose to just talk to professional help about it, I feel like to a certain extent, like you gonna tell them the basics so that they can give you the help. But are you gonna sit there and just really go in depth with like certain stuff? Because at the end of the day, there's still somebody that you don't know.
Right.
Like they just getting paid to give you a clinical treatment of what should be done. But yeah, why they say talk to God about it?
Talk to God.
If don't nobody else judge you, if don't nobody else throw them back in your face, that's who he won't. He, she, whatever y'all want to consider the universe, God, whatever.
Yeah. But I just really want to touch on that because I think we needed to be aware of like those definitions and what they are, and now like we have more knowledge about like what they are and what they look like, and going forward you just second think like.
Do you think you have intrusive thoughts?
I have.
Do you have them often, or can you think probably like the last one you had?
The last intrusive thought I had, I be punching shit, y'all. Like
what you mean?
Just random, like just swing on shit in my house. I just be in there by myself.
I mean, you might need to let it out.
I'm gonna join boxing right. Like sometimes it should be like, or like with King, he be standing there, I'd be like, or I push him or something.
Yeah.
Like, shit, pay attention to me.
Yeah.
Shit. But like,
okay, now that's different now.
No, like I would just we be watching TV, and I just be like, or I just play this lip and I just go my life. Like my bad. He like, what the fuck? What are you doing? But no, I do like swing. I feel like it's been a while now, but I feel like when I was finna drive my car off the road, like that was very intrusive. I was just driving, like then I just seen a tree, a big ass tree too. I'm like, just drive this motherfucker over.
Yeah.
So
I don't think I have I think people probably don't even realize how often they probably have them. And then probably like I said,
it's probably been more than that. But
it be stuff like that's nothing you would do, because there was something I had on there too. Like this one girl broke it down. She said like it's basically like intrusive thoughts are like, she described it as like ego dysonic, meaning it's something you don't desire. It's like the total opposite of what you stand for, and it's unwanted, and it's like the last thing you would ever want to do.
That's why I'm like That's just.
So when she put it in that perspective, I'm like, yes, because I don't think I ever just walk out in traffic, like moving traffic.
Right.
Like, no, I'm not gonna do that. But that's just an intrusive thought because it just popped up.
Just
like
uninvited just came across. I'm telling you, like I was just
but
driving,
you know what?
seeing the
It
chick.
makes
I'm like,
sense because
wonder if I just work this bitch in there. And see
like I be always hearing people say, like, all your thoughts are not your thoughts.
right.
So some thoughts that you have are like influenced by a lot of stuff. Can be like what you hear, the things that you watch. And now your brain is like taking on and processing so much. And it might be bunching together words and sentences from like something you heard last week compared to what you listened to last night. Also, too, I think with a lot of intrusive thoughts, if they happen more often than they supposed to in certain people, and they, like I said, they can't get rid of them. Like I be telling you about the chakras, like your vibes. It all depends on your energy too, like where your energy, like you said, where you at in life, and where your mindset is at, because that plays a big role in a lot of stuff too. Like.
You know what I'm saying?
If you operate from them three,
maybe you need to journal, maybe you need to just let it out. I don't know. I ain't never encourage nobody to like harm themselves, but if you having them very often, you definitely need to seek some type of help. Do something.
Raise your vibrations.
For sure.
You're operating
pray.
You're operating in such a low energy. You're operating in survival mode and you don't even know it. Like,
that's what I'm about to say. I don't know, but I can't really say I have them very frequently.
Yeah.
I just see it all the time. My intrusive thoughts.
Like they said, the lady said they can be ideas, images, thoughts, pictures, like anything like that are considered intrusive. They can come in those type of forms. So yeah, raise your vibrations, cleanse your body, sharpen your intuition. Be open and honest and transparent with people, but do not be vulnerable with them. Unless you like Tim Ross and that's your superpower and you don't mind, by all means, pop your shit, twin.
Don't be surprised when people. If you choose to be vulnerable with people, don't be surprised how they react to it.
Yeah. Be prepared for what the reaction will be after that, after you said what you said. Yeah. So.
But yeah.
Y'all have been tuned in to another episode with DNT Podcast. Make sure y'all like, comment, subscribe. You'll never be disappointed. You're going to always be surprised when you hop up on this channel. Tell a friend to tell a friend to tell a friend to tell a friend about DNT. Tell a friend to tell a friend to tell a friend to tell a friend about this and me. And yeah, we hope we see y'all next week. We love y'all as always. I'm Tanika Roche.
I'm Destiny Lynn.
And the duo is signing out.